Okay, here's a little bit of a different video today. I just purchased this, I believe they're either late teens, early 20s, 1 horsepower stove leg Maytag. It's an all original engine. Seems to be in good shape. Sat inside for a good majority of its life. You can see the original blue paint cylinder, red on the flywheel. It's missing the coil is about the only thing I think it's missing, and it is missing. It's supposed to have a little rod out here for your choke, but it does have compression. I've shot some oil just down the cylinder to make sure it does actually bounce back. The governor turns, you can see I sprayed some penetrating oil in there. It from what I can see so far, no cracks, breaks, or welds. I do have, there's actually 2 more of these 1 horses here. Both of them are missing a leg. Actually, there's parts of one underneath here as well. Where is it? One of them has a bad leg on it. I guess it's maybe on that side. I don't know if you can see it or not. At one point in life, it's had a broken leg. This one seems to be all original. It actually came, by the sounds of it, from the original farm about, not that far from here, only about probably 30 miles. It actually came from the guy that hauls our traction as a tow truck operator. Saw it there and knew we collected this old junk, so he bought it at a sale there. But haven't done nothing to it yet other than put some oil in it. It does have a little bit excessive side-to-side play. I'll probably smarten that up one of these days. But another one of these I have actually has a broken connecting rod. So if you hang on a second and bear with me for a second here, I think I can walk to it. Bear with me for 1 second here, folks. There's a connecting rod out of another one. You can see it's been broken and bushed. So actually what I've been making is there's a 3D printed pattern. It's a little hard to that, sorry about that. Split pattern to cast. One of these days we're going to cast several is up, because I said I don't know how good this one is, but I know this one's broken. I have another one, the one behind me, I know it got broken years ago. So we'll do several of them up, and that way, honestly, with the time it takes to pour them in machine, we'll do them. And I have someone needs them if we ever pick another one up. Around here, buddy, I know he's got a few more of these, so that's something that never hurts to do. Might even do some pistons up for these, you never know. But I think we're going to do a willet start on this guy. I got to get round up a coil. I think I'm going to pull this up, because your gas tank, if someone doesn't know, this is your gas tank underneath here. There's just a check valve on here. I'll probably pull this off just to kind of make sure the tank's not full of junk. I don't know. I took a quick look in there and it looked okay just from what I could see, but we'll get her set up and we'll do a wheel start. I don't know if we'll do it today or tomorrow, because I got to go to a ball game today. But yeah, she's an all, we'll say a barn find, all original 1-horse Maytag. The serial number, I saw it in here. It's up in the 5s. Yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but the serial number is on there. So yeah, but yeah, we'll do a wheel start and see what happens. Yeah, where's Casey when you need him to clean this up? I don't know how the pattern's gonna pick it up, but this is full of just junk. Anyone's curious how these little guys work, this little thing's called the flutter. I think there's a 16th or an 1/8 inch check ball in there. It's supposed to be, I believe, of how it works. I wouldn't quote me on this, but I believe it works. If there's too much fuel down the bottom here, it drains back into the tank to kind of help let these floods. I know these things they're a little bit sensitive on that to get them not to flood. I've never had an original one apart like this before. This little strap, I guess, goes underneath here. I guess maybe it's to keep the fuel from splashing. I honestly don't know if that's factory or someone's added it in there. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so that's we're gonna clean this tank out first before we put some fresh fuel in it, because I don't know, like I said, see if I grab a screwdriver here. Yeah, you got silt there very deep, so we'll get that cleaned out. Always clean your old gas tanks out, folks. You never know what stuff's in there. I'll get this cleaned out. Okay, tank's decently clean now. If this thing runs, it'll probably come apart again to clean a bunch of the junk and crap off of this. I'll probably clean it up. And I've never, like I said before, I've never seen this before. I guess it goes underneath the flutter. Maybe it's supposed to kind of break the gas down a bit so it doesn't splash. I don't have a clue whether it's factory or not. I'd have to look. I know there's an old parts book around here somewhere, see if it's even in there. All the Maytags we've had, I've never seen it before, so I mean, I honestly don't know if it's factory or not. But yeah, so we got the bottom clean. We're gonna get we'll put her back in. Like I said, it's got decent compression. I had some I put a little bit of solvent down the cylinder that'll kind of evaporate. We'll throw some oil. It'll be 30 weight non-detergent oil, and I forget the ratio off the top of my head. I want to say it's 16 to 1. I got to double check before we attempt to fire it just to make sure there's oil. I'll probably put a couple of drops of oil down the cylinder anyways. The governor seems to work okay, so that should be fine. It moves how it should. The only thing is I'll try running it, but the commutator there, it's supposed to have the screw on the side holding it in. It is not doing anything, but the commutator's so tight. I'll see if it'll fire up. That's got to get addressed, and I said the end play's got to get addressed as well. But just curious to see if it'll fire up. Like I said, Lord knows when the last time this thing ran, but it'll tell you it's probably several decades at the earliest anyways. So, but yeah, we'll put it back together. I'm just going to use the old gaskets and everything, the old gasket sealer, no nothing. We'll put just a little bit of gas in it just to see what happens. I still got to clean the, just clean around the check valve just to make sure that's all clean. I'll probably pull the carb off, just make sure it's all clean, because just judging by the crap in here, it's probably had a bunch of junk run through it. And we will see what happens. Okay, just take the funnel out here. Now I filled it with not quite, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a gallon or so of gas. Now the original Maytag, we do have some original Maytag multi-odor here, oil here. I don't know how the camera's going to pick this up, but it does say to go 16 to 1. So I probably went closer to 12 to 1 with SAE 30. Ignore the oil container there. It does have SAE 30 in it. That's SAE 30 non-detergent oil. You can see I spilled some gas there a little bit. We're going to see if it runs. I right now have one turn on the needle valve. I have the choke about half. We'll see what's going to happen. So I did go correct the, I think I said earlier on that the commutator was moved up. I pushed it back. There was originally, you can see the dimple for the set screw. I put it there. It's essentially running, see if I get a camera in here, basically straight up and down. I'm not holding it right. I pushed some grease through the main bearing. I'm going to put this on a tripod and see how well this works. I've never used a tripod before, so I hope this is going to work. So we're going to find out. I'm trying to find the best spot for a tripod. I'll be back in a minute. I hope this is going to work for the tripod. I hope it's going to be close enough. We're going to find out. I'll hook the battery up. That went quick. Let's see what happens again. I will give it a little less choke. I'll go a quarter turn. Maybe needs a little bit more. That's another little bit less. I'll be damned. It ran. Now, like I said, full disclosure, I did turn it over a little bit before it fired up. That was the first time I actually hooked the battery to it. We turned it over a bit just to see, and it, I'll be damned, it actually fires and runs fairly well. The thing with the amount of compression it has, probably never ran a heck of a lot, but it's, I'm going to put another clamp on this side here, and I'll probably let it run for a little bit longer. The fins and I have been starting to get hot here. But yeah, it seemed to, when I was first going, excuse me, it had a little choke. It seemed to like basically almost no choke. And like I said, I have the idle valve turned at one turn. So I'll probably, maybe I can back that in a bit. But like I said, I squirted some oil down the cylinder before we ran it. And I'm running, it says 16 to 1. I'm running heavier than that just because I would rather it smoke a little bit than get everything kind of worn back in and broke back in. But judging by the amount of compression, it probably never ran very much. I mean, yeah, it's got some in play here. We can tighten that up if he needs a new bushing. That's not the end of the world. But yeah, so that's a will it start on the little 1-horse Maytag. I'll probably get one more clamp and I'll see if we can fire up again. Okay, we're back to take 2. I'm going to leave the carb settings where they were and we're going to see what happens. No, oh. I guess it would help it hook the battery up. Okay, I ran for a little bit more again. The only thing is, I guess there was so much carbon in here. I don't know how much you could pick it up. There's a couple of flakes that were flaking off and I got hit. And one was a little bit on the hot side. But yeah, you could see in the video there, I don't know if you could see, it was leaking a little bit right here. Like I said, I just took the carb apart, cleaned it, put it back together. It had, it was just very gummy, it was varnishy, so I cleaned all that out. Like I said, nothing really was taken apart on this, short of just taking apart to clean the fuel tank. Yeah. Other than that, like I said, it runs actually remarkably well. I know sometimes we got a couple of these little Maytags. Some run better than others. I know like there's a little one there. That one should be inside, but that was, I think that's an 82. And I think so, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this one seems to run actually not that bad. I think the plan is this year, this one, Kevin's talking about taking a bunch of engines to Austin this year. We might take this one for Casey to run because it's a little bit on the smaller side. So I would like to get an original hand crank for it, or even a case of repop, but I think what we'll do is you can, like you see this, I think we'll probably pull the flywheel off and to fix that up, because I don't like that's a little too excessive for me. But yeah, it seemed to run okay for what it is. I mean, it's a Maytag. I'm just a 3095 spark plug in there right now, which is a cheapy Autolite. But and it is missing the choke rod, as I know. Like I said, it comes out probably about there. That has a little shepherd's hook on the end there. We'll probably put one of those on, but honestly, how this thing fired up, carb, well, it's a little bit warm now. I can just keep my hand there. The that was right on a turn. I could probably maybe just turn it a smidgen, but especially under load, sometimes I know these things are a little bit finicky. I know when you hear them under load, they definitely seem to sound better and run better. But yeah, so that's a will it start on a Maytag. That's the first time this engine's ran in Lord knows how long. Like I said, it came from a farm, and the guy figured it was the original farm about 25 miles from here. And these, it would either be late teens, early 20s. I know the serial number's on it yet. I don't think there's a definitive list, but it can put you in the ballpark. But yeah, it's a neat little engine. Like I said, they have we got a couple of halves and I have 3 ones. I'd like to get a quarter one day. I doubt that'll ever happen. Up here, you don't see many of the quarters. Like I see a fair amount of the halves and the horses, but you just don't see. And this one's nice. No broken fins. There is a broken fin right there, but the other one has, I think all that I've seen, almost all have that. So I don't know if they had issues from the factory with that, or just that one, because that's a weird one to break. Like up top here, something dropped. That's a weird one to break. So I don't know if they had issues from the factory with those or what. But if it's not supposed to be broken, then it is one fin broken. Other than that, like I said, remarkably good shape. The only thing that's was just missing is the little choke rod there, which is not a big deal to fabricate up. I probably will just to make it look nicer, but it really doesn't need as far as functionality. I might change the wires. I might not. I might just leave them as is. Get a proper spark plug. Get, just maybe some repo cloth. M-ring a Pontiac coil. Yeah, I probably should have. It was dancing, but I mean, I can't really go that far. I should have maybe put a clamp on it, but. So yeah, that's late teens, early 20s, 1-horse Maytag. And if someone's caring to know, yeah, it won't fire because I got the battery off. That's essentially your governor here. There's a little spring, and as it goes faster, this flies off, cuts your spark, and it slows it down. It's they're little ingenious little engines for the back in the day. But yeah, so we'll probably end up doing a video on pouring a rod for these, because I said we have. I know I have to pour 2 rods, and honestly, I'll probably pour a spare for this one just to have, even if we don't finish machining it, to have it just Just rough machine that way in case this thing ever does need a rod. But yeah, so I hope you like this video. If you like it, like, link, and subscribe. Stationary engines on the channel. Kind of goes in spurts. Sometimes we work on them. This, I said, I literally picked up the other day there. I was just curious to see if it would run. So yeah, we'll probably do some more engine videos on here one of these days. But that's it for now. Yeah, you see some of the crap in that blown out of here. Like I said, it got a little bit hot. One piece hit me in the neck there. So anyways, yeah, I hear the dog barking next door. So that's her.